Hello, and welcome to our latest episode of Women Crush Wednesday, which is the OneSource Management Consulting series where we highlight women business owners and movers and shakers. My name is Tiffany Presney. I am the founder of OneSource Management Consulting, and we are the home of Peaceful Project Management. And today I have with me the beautiful Miss Aisha Harpool. Aisha is a serial entrepreneur. She is starting businesses in Maryland, in Florida,
New York.
New York.
Yeah.
She's a busy lady.
Vegas.
She's a busy lady. And I had the pleasure of meeting her about a year or so ago.
It's coming up.
Coming up on a year.
Yeah.
Aisha is an inspiration. And she is one of those people that you meet her and she puts a little light on you. I'm very happy to get a chance to talk to somebody who has this much experience with different kinds of businesses, with, picking up and starting something new and really growing and touching people. So I appreciate the fact that you came here today to talk to me.
Thank you, Tiffany. I appreciate that warm introduction. I am a serial entrepreneur, which I didn't see myself as a serial entrepreneur. I just saw myself as an entrepreneur, someone who just enjoyed working for themselves. I saw it growing up, so it made sense to me.
I love it. So the first question I have for you officially is, how did you get here? What was your path like to entrepreneurship?
So, like I've mentioned, my grandfather, I was raised by my grandparents initially, and I saw my grandfather every day. I grew up in his cleaners. He had a dry cleaners. He had a video store, fruit and vegetable market, to name a few of his businesses that I was blessed to grow up in. How I got here being a business owner was kind of forced. I was incarcerated. And then when I came home from incarceration, I decided that I was going to continue on doing what I was doing in prison, which was yoga and wellness exercise. At that time, it was because I was doing personal training before I got arrested. I was doing personal training
for Life Started Life on you.
For LA Fitness years ago, and then I was just in there, and it was just inmates came up to me, and I was dealing with certain stuff in my cell that the only way I could really deal with the inmates, my cellies, and what I was going through was I needed them to be on my accord, which was wellness, a mindful way of looking at things and doing it, a practice that would help us to maintain some sort of comfort, which involved yoga. Because we needed to relax, and I was in a class, and one of the cellies from another block said, "Well, New York knows yoga; she can help us." And I'm like, "What the freak?" And at that time, I'm like in a meditative trance in the class because I was like, "I'm just taking this class for points. I don't even this means nothing to me, but I'm taking the class." And when she pointed me out, they then got word to the warden. And then the warden came and made an appearance and asked me what I was doing. So that's how this all started for me. In that journey. Like I said, it was kind of forceful in a way that pushed me to do it, because I knew when I came home, I was going to have a problem. I was not going to be able to work again at Johns Hopkins in their marketing department. I had really dope jobs prior. And so I knew, like, oh no, not with this background. They're not even going to give you a phone call. Yeah.
That's very interesting that you found a way in a very dark place to keep your own light and to share it a little bit else.
Definitely.
Because I would say from our previous conversation, just our chit chats and whatnots, one of the things that you've said that has always struck me is that you've done all these different things, but they almost all have the same kind of purpose. And that's helping somebody, be themselves as wellness through like physical, through mental, spiritual, emotional, that, it is wellness.
Yeah. It's this holistic way of looking at it. It's the whole, the mind, the body, and the spirit, and the soul. So I know as the eldest of 5, I was always called to solve an issue. I was always having to damper what was going on, my siblings crying, us being left alone until a guardian came back from wherever. So I would just make them feel better as their eldest sister, as their sister mother. So it was pretty much, again, something that was forced for me to do because my mom left us at a very, very young age. And I made this promise to her. I can't believe I made the promise. I was probably like about 8 or 9, probably more 8. And I said, yes, I'll watch over my brothers and my sister. And I held that and I did that. And with doing that, it opened me up to realizing that I had so many brothers and sisters out here that needed me or what I have.
That sense of balance.
Yes.
Because I know I can come in to your house on fire, heated, and 5 minutes later I'm
yeah, no doubt.
And feeling better. So as you started working on your own business ventures, can you tell me about maybe some of the challenges you've seen along the way? And did any of those challenges really surprise you?
The challenges I had on the way, one, because I was coming from being a previously incarcerated person, the challenges for me at that time were, who was going to take me serious? Because I didn't look like, and still don't look like, what I've been through. So when I tell you, major challenge was even when they asked, where'd you live, an address? And I didn't have an address. I didn't live anywhere. So that was big, because it was like, oh my gosh, I don't live anywhere. So at that time in the early 2000s, that was an issue. Being a woman who was previously incarcerated, there were not a lot of resources there for me. No, not for me, because I wasn't an ex-junkie. I didn't do drugs. It wasn't alcohol. So the crimes that I did were petty crimes that just caught up with me. But they didn't have that transitional, like I said, resource. So those are my challenges, finding the resources and finding people that took me serious based off of what had just happened to me.
So question, when you were looking for people who were taking you serious, did you also have to get in mind that you had to start looking at yourself differently too? Is it like an energy that you had to sort of bring into yourself, and then hopefully other people are going to catch on to it? Now, sometimes they will, sometimes they won't, but.
Well, kind of, sort of, because for me being incarcerated, I had to get into myself at that, because I knew I had did so much damage to myself and my children at the time. They were little and younger, but that was the time when I had to, like, oh my gosh, I did this. And I owned it, and I accepted. And but that can happen to someone over and over again.
Yeah.
So for that particular time, I knew, like, I effed up. So that's why I dealt with that on that level. I had to grow. at that time. It shaped me to who I am now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It shaped my sons, because that's something they too have to live with. That mom was incarcerated.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they're 30 and 22 now, but that was something that it was a lot to deal with, because when mom came home, mom didn't have anywhere to live.
Yeah.
And which means they couldn't come live with me. So what was going on in my head was to maintain this high vibration still, because while incarcerated, I began to study about vibrations and energy. So in order for me to be able to provide a home for them, I'm going to have to keep my vibrations up. I'm going to have to pretty much also stay clean of stupidity.
Yes.
And that was challenging, because I was staying in like so many different places with so many different people who then pushed out a lot of different energies, where it would get so hard at times. There were moments when I felt like I don't want to do this anymore. Because I've at that time felt like I failed as a mother, I failed as a sister, I failed as a daughter. That was going through my head. And I was just like, how am I gonna get out of this? You know, and eventually I did. Eventually I did get out of it. But it was a very long time before I was able to ring that bell.
You know what's so interesting? I hear you say the word that you failed, but I feel like you just stumbled.
Yeah, but right. I like that, but at that time I didn't have another word for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I felt like I failed, you know. And let me say this, even though I felt that I failed, failure didn't stay, like I didn't hang out with failure.
Yeah.
Like failure would just breeze through, you know, knock at the wrong door and I would answer it, type of a thing, where, okay, I acknowledge that you're failed. But from a very young age, I learned that from my dad, winners never quit and quitters never win. So that falls under the umbrella of, you know, did I fail or did I progress? And a lot of times it was just based off of the environment I was in. If I was in an environment with people who they had a failure of a way of conversing with me, I'm going to feel like, oh, I guess I can't make it, because we are our environment,
and who we surround
ourselves. So that's where it was coming from.
We were talking about friendship circles and who you have around, and how who you have around impacts your own energy and your own vibe for yourself.
No doubt it does. Yeah.
Because I know I definitely feel that one.
Yeah. Yeah. It was energy is big. People are my husband says this. Well, he has said it. I say it now. About, you know, God is big and the world is round. When I think about that, I think about how things will repeat itself. Things come back around again for do-overs. And God is big enough to allow that, to give that to us. So when he said that to me, it really hit me, because I was like, oh my God, that's my life. That is my life, about the world is round and God is big. You know, so even though I was having issues with finding a place to live, I found hope in being a personal trainer at that time. Being a personal trainer gave me life, because I started my day at 4:30 in the morning and I wouldn't end it to probably about 11 at night. And then I would sleep in the gym that I worked at. I wasn't paying any rent. The owner didn't know I was there, but I owed it to that space to put in the work if I'm going to stay in this space, so that's what I'm talking about, like energy. If I'm going to utilize this space to train women, and at that time it was just women, then I need to show this space that I deserve to stay here after hours. And that's what I did. Yes. Baby, did I do that?
Hey, look, we make a way.
Yes.
There's one thing we're going to do is going to be making a way.
Yeah. Definitely made a way and still making a way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. For yourself and for others.
Yes, definitely for myself and for others.
For yourself and for others.
And for others. I had time to let me just do this for the others because I'm good.
Right.
I'm good.
Well, what advice? So, because I mean, you've really seen some high highs and some low lows. So what advice would you give to someone who is looking to begin their own business?
Be true to yourself. Know exactly what it is you can give to the people.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
If you know what you can give to the people and you can do all day, every day, no days off Ferris Bueller, then that can guide you to whether or not you want to be an entrepreneur or not.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So take your what you're most passionate about and come up with something like, okay, I can do that. I'm great at walking dogs. Dogs love me. You know what? Let me start a dog walking business.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you should put yourself out there like everything. Like I'm gonna just put all my ducks in a row and I'm gonna just no. If you don't have to, do not do that. If you have a 9 to 5 and it provides you really great cushion. I have great friends who that's their cushion, and then they do what they love doing on the side to do that. But I don't believe entrepreneurship is for everybody. No, it is true. Not. There are people who feel that clocking in and clocking out best suits them. Don't get caught up with your friends telling you, you can do this, you can do that on your own, because it's not for everyone. Everyone does not have that skin to do it. But if you have that tough skin, like you do, then you do it.
It's true. It's true. And it's interesting because I was just talking to Dr. Peak earlier, and we were discussing how working the 9 to 5 job and realizing that the time, the effort, I was the type of person who would put so much into a 9 to 5 job, you would have thought I was running the place. But no, I was just putting the time in because I wanted it to be a certain way. Then I realized, you kind of realize that these people whose job it is to manage my time, they need somebody to manage their time. I'll be over here. I'll be over here
doing too much for the business that doesn't belong to you.
Absolutely.
You don't want to do that. You want to be able to balance. You got to balance that. And that's where the balance comes in. Because you get so caught up in that. Now, when I found, I'm gonna be honest, when I started working for a job, a corporation, I had what they called, one of the older stylists said that I had entrepreneurial withdrawal. Because I kept referring it and I kept treating it as if they weren't good enough. When she said that to me in our cafeteria, I sat back by myself for an additional 20 minutes to meditate on what she said. I said, well, Aisha, if you're going to be here, then you need to be here as Aisha, the employee, not Aisha, the entrepreneur.
Not Aisha, the displaced entrepreneur.
Can't do that. Right, the displaced entrepreneur, because at that time I was not working for myself anymore. I had shut down the business, my salon. Looking back, I'm like, wow, Aisha, it was hard for you to adjust. But what also happened is when you are an entrepreneur and then you have to go back to a 9 to 5. I did that straight for like 6 years. I got scared. I was like, oh my God, I got to come out of this and now tip my feet into that water of entrepreneurship. Oh my God. So it kind of like,
to jump back into it after a gap.
Yeah. And that's why I'm like, let me just stick with this. It feels better.
I think, well, I mean, I know what you're saying. Entrepreneurship really is not for everyone. But I think it's probably for more minority and Black women than are actually doing it right now.
Oh, no doubt.
And that's what I love to know. And I don't know what the exact statistic on it right now is, but I've read it in a couple different places that Black women in particular are like one of the fastest growing segments of business owners and entrepreneurs. And I love that for us.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Because we're in charge. We're leaders naturally. We're naturally born to do that, stemming from our ancestors. So it's in our blood.
And my thing is, if you're going to leave the work with me, because I mean, I don't know what everybody else's experience is, but I don't feel like I'm unique in the experience that I have had working for others, which is having a group of people really rely on you, really rely on you, trust you. Until you want to go somewhere, until you want to get a raise, or until you want a promotion, or until you want an opportunity that doesn't immediately benefit them, and then you find out your true worth. You find out what they were really thinking about. It's like the plan was. It's like don't disrupt our plan. Our plan was to pull labor out of you and exploit your labor from now until retirement, honey.
We're exchanging your time for a couple of dollars.
Exactly.
And my last time working in professional jobs, just over broke, I was pushing so hard to be seen in these roles, to leave from being a property manager to regional. And I'm like, I wonder, because I'm like, but that's not what God intended for me, because it felt like forced. So it never worked out for me. I was like, what in the hamburger? It's not working out for me. and I say this, another one, a saying that I have is, and you've heard it probably, the man's rejection is God's protection. So as much as I was getting rejected, I felt like God has protected me from pain, from hurt.
Corporate foolishness.
And I can now, looking back at it, and I'll call my friends that are still working for these companies, and all they're doing is huffing and puffing and blowing the house down. And I'm like, woo, child. Okay, well, guess what? You can always connect with me for some meditation.
Okay, so talk to me a real quick second, because I know that right now your current business of the one that you're in right now is with Swag Queens. That's promotion.
Swag Queen Pro.
But you said the word breathe one time, and that reminded me of your next phase, which you're already planning for, which is
balanced breath.
Child,
so balanced breath. Now balanced breath, my first wellness business was Results to Wellness. That's when I was incarcerated and I came home. So this is like, hey, remember us? So that business has been under a paperweight for so long, my wellness business. So Swag Queen Pro promotional items is up and running. Balanced Breath is the baby that holds so dear to me, because it helps so many people physically, spiritually, and mentally. It's more tangible. I can touch you, I can guide you through meditation. I can guide you in and out of what you're going through when we do some mindfulness, activities. Yeah.
And I think it's one of those things that's really needed. There was I don't know if it was lockdown that did it, because I hate to say
I was in Florida, so
I
can't even.
Florida act like it ain't never happened. Let's say who, where, what, how?
There was no lockdown in Florida. We clocked in every day.
Well, look, that I know that my mental health was taking a nosedive during that time period. And there was so much to be balanced, because it wasn't just oh, hey, we're in lockdown. It was you in lockdown. Now you got to figure with the kids and make sure that, Zoom school and everything else. And, just finding ways. I didn't have real good meditation to fall back on. For me, it had to be some kind of physical activity. I'm big on some kind of physical activity.
Yeah.
I got to take a walk. I got to run around. I got to get on the bike or something just to, just regulate my breathing a little bit and get my heart rate up.
Yeah.
That helped my mental stability in so many ways while we were in lockdown. And I know you got that vibe. And look, I know I talk to you, I bring you a problem, be like, yes, now have you thought about it this way?
Yeah.
Now have you thought about this person's, like their energy and their feeling and why they're like this? And it's like, I hadn't, but I guess I will now.
right. And it's those little parts that we as humans don't look at. Like, okay, wait a minute. I know they made you feel like trash, crap, whatever. But let's think about what they were going through. If we're going to talk about mental health awareness, we have to be aware of everyone involved. But we have to allow ourselves to be aware of that. That's the part that people don't get, and a lot of times they don't want to get because they've been operating a certain way. Now, during the lockdown, like I said, I had to go to work, but because I worked as property management, everybody was home. So now it's like, OMG.
I know they was bringing your phone.
they were. But again, I was still using those principles of, wait a minute, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I speaking to tenants, I need you to breathe when you're on the phone with me. So and so and so and so. Once I know you have identified your breath, then we can move on to the next part of this conversation. So and so and so and so, and that's how I work.
That's a good way to look at it.
Because everyone else in the office was feeling like, and I'm like, Aisha, why are you so chill? Why are you so calm? And I'm like, because it's no need for all of us to be in an uproar. I'm gonna remain calm in this because the people need us. The waiting area would have 20, 30 people signed up to talk to me, and I'm like, I don't have it on paper that I'm this therapist doctor, but because of my life situations that have happened to me and that I was able to overcome, I know how to relate to the people. Like, okay, wait a minute, you 4 or 5 months behind in rent. Okay, I'm not going to chastise you. I'm going to have some empathy for you because I've been there before in my life. And like I said, I don't look like what I've been through, but I've been through a lot. So let's come up with a plan. Let's come up with a solution. If you don't want to, then don't call us with any uproar, because you've now, it's like, if you know that this is how you are, then don't call here with that.
Right. Right. Pretending like you ain't know you was like that in the first place. Like, man, please.
That's why I said about accepting.
I work at a property management company.
You did.
Way back when. And I used to get the corporate calls. People get so mad.
They're going to call corporate.
Corporate.
And corporate calls us anyway, because they're like, hey, these people.
Oh yeah, of course.
So again, now we have to, come up with a solution. And that to me is life in general. It's like, if there's a problem, let's come up with a solution to it. And mine just happens to follow breaths. Because if you're not breathing, I mean, we're having our breath, like we're talking and everything, but if you're not breathing with a purpose, then you're doing a disservice to yourself. And why do that?
Because we're used to it.
We got to get unused to it. So that's
we're
what
used to it, and we like it now.
Got to unlearn some things.
Just over here choking, mad, choking,
just so mad.
So, as somebody with really good practices around maintaining your own mental health and your own mental stability, I'm going to ask you my next question, and that is, as you balance your responsibilities as a business owner, as a daughter, as a sister, as a mother, as a wife, as a community member, how do you maintain your peace?
I maintain my peace practice. We call it, I just practice a lot of it. I'm not always, hey, peace, Shanti. I'm not always like that, but I G-check myself when I find myself immediately following the broadcast that I'm off. Mm-hmm. I take a moment, and I'll do this thing where I step away. Excuse me, and I do that a lot. Excuse me, where'd Aisha go? I may have went into the bathroom. I may have walked around, because I know it when it's coming up. Like, mm-hmm. Like as a mother, like when the baby's about to do something real stupid, mm-hmm. because their body language. Mm-hmm. Oh, excuse me real quick. Hold on, I'll be right back, Miss Harris.
When them shoulders start creeping up.
Yeah. So so just like that, it's like paying attention to the body, scanning my body. Mm-hmm. So if you pay attention to your body, and not always talking about aches. When I talk about paying attention to your body, I'm talking about the body within the body, mm-hmm. your inner body. Mm-hmm. Like, oh my goodness, if your inner body is like, we need to check out real quick. Your outer body's like, no, we're gonna just keep doing it. No, because everything happens inward, then outward. So that's why you have to do a scan. So I do a lot of scanning. I spend a lot of time with myself. So that's why I find peace. Mm-hmm. I find peace like that, just scanning myself. I find peace walking. I find peace writing. I find peace laughing. Mm-hmm. I find peace also with animals, dogs in particular now. Mm-hmm. Before you couldn't catch me with a dog, but now that I have grandpups and great grandpups and nephew pups, that's where I'm at.
Look,
now.
I see those chicken cherry.
I do. I
see you have like dog treats.
I got dog treats. I have dog toys.
And a dog is like
not a dog. but
for the grandpups.
When the nephew dogs come, and now I have a new addition. I rescued a dog and gifted it to my step-up daughter. When they do get to come to the home, they have things in place for them. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Because they needed it. Yeah, I'm ready for them. I'm ready for them. Yeah,
I love it. Mm-hmm. The support is like all over the place. Like
yeah,
you get it here and at your house too.
Come on, why not?
I love it, Aisha, and I am super happy that I got to talk to somebody with your not only life experience but approach and sort of. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just your light. It's just your light. And I feel like every time we talk, we hang, we vibe, we have a good time.
Yeah.
But it's also a good light. I feel encouraged. I feel like kind of ready to do some stuff.
Yes.
I'm feeling ready.
Yes. I want everyone to feel ready when they're on the phone, when they're talking to me. Like, for instance, my sister has to color her hair. Well, I was supposed to go to New York to color my sister's hair. Mm-hmm. I can't get there. Mm-hmm. So she says, well, we could do it over video. Now, the only way my sister's able to say something like that is because we've done that before.
Mm-hmm. You said, I'll talk you through it.
And I'm great at talking someone through something. Like I've talked her through cutting her daughter's hair. I've talked a crew of people, because I used to be, a hairstylist. So, and a lot of my clients couldn't stay with me. I've moved around, but we stayed in touch, and I would still give them that assurance that, hey, even though I'm not physically here with you,
I can still be
here with you.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Mm-hmm. Well, Miss Aisha, I do appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Yeah.
This has been a great day. So I'm talking to you, and I also got a chance earlier to talk to Dr. Jerry Peak. And I'll probably go back and talk with her a little bit more, because I'm in Baltimore, baby. I'm running the Baltimore streets today. If anybody needs me, I'll be running the streets.
She's here in Baltimore. I'm not running the Baltimore streets. I'm gonna go out and do some things in the Baltimore streets, but I can't run these streets no more.
Child.
These streets almost took me all the way out.
Look, run the street, but we're gonna be limping. We're gonna be walking.
And this is the one place you do not want to be limping. No, you know what? Baltimore's coming back to Baltimore after 15 years. I see some happy in Baltimore, and I keep Baltimore on the altar, because I have faith in Baltimore, that Baltimore will come together for the goodness of the city. Because Baltimore feels like it's its own state, but for the goodness of the city, Baltimore will come together.
I can't disagree with that. I absolutely agree with that statement. Coming to Baltimore, it's like Baltimore County, Baltimore City. It's like
Baltimore's its own thing.
Yeah.
So while I'm here doing this mental health and this physical health, gearing up with the rest of these certifications, I wanna, give it back, because I've done it before where I was giving to Baltimore schools and different organizations, women separated from their children because they were incarcerated, or things like that. I've done that volunteer work, and I'm ready to do that again. But coming from I'm different now because I'm older. I'm wiser. I'm wiser, and I got it more together.
What is it about being more mature mentally that somehow has a negative impact on one's knees, ankles, and joints? Because the smarter and wiser I get, the worse my knees become, the weaker my ankles are.
I feel
like the age that gives you the wisdom is like, I'm gonna give you one wisdom and take one knee. I'm gonna take one knee.
Yeah. No, now I do a lot more movement when I'm on the dance floor with my shoulders.
That's right.
I give you so much shoulder now. Before I used to give you all of me.
Oh, honey, drop it low.
Drop it.
Drop it where? Not low.
I'm not dropping anything but the napkin to the table and the glass on top of the napkin. I'm not drop what like it's hot. It was a potato that fell off my plate.
Right, if we drop it low, it's not coming back.
No, I'm gonna drop down, pick that up, and put it back on the table. I cannot do that. I have some great memories in dance groups and touring with rap groups as a dancer, but I'm like, oh, no. No, and more no.
No, I'll be sitting here with my water and maybe some wine.
Just
chilling.
No doubt. So yeah,
we're gonna have to do this again.
We will. Yay, let's do this.
I think we should do it again.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna say goodbye now, and I want to say thank you again to Miss Aisha Harpool.
Thank you for having me.
And we see you guys next time.